if you're going to succeed and, you're going to go out there and play well and put in everything into it and be ahead and going into the 8th and 9th inning, you got to find a way to come through. And, obviously we didn't do that tonight. And, we had Raj out there. We get the guy we want out there on the mound to bring it home. And, it didn't go smoothly there. And, we got to find a way to make it happen in these late inning situations and find a way to win these games.
Maybe. Possibly.
Nope.
Sorry. Bullpen's a mess.
The baseball was certainly soaring late in that game last night for the Rangers.
Yeah.
For the Rangers.
Yeah. Quite a bit, Phil Mackey. Quite a bit.
Well,
I will say this before we start, in credit to you, Phil. I will say, and you weren't the only one, but it's one thing when a decision is made and after it's made, you say, that was a rotten decision, Rocco. That's terrible. And people are like, well, Phil Mackey, it'd be nice if you had said that before. I will give you credit. We are going to be discussing today a first guess.
Yeah.
Because you did not, when the move to Brandon Waddell out of the bullpen in the 10th was made, Phil Mackey did not wait for Waddell to serve up batting practice. Phil Mackey got on. Okay, Declan. See, that's fine. But what I'm saying is the baseball whisperer said this is a bad decision, and it was.
The baseball whisperer made an appearance last night. He did, and the baseball whisperer picks his spots because it's kind of like the baseball whisperer. I'll use a wrestling comparison here. It's like in the early days of John Cena. As you're a rising star, like the baseball whisperer was. You're on the road, you're grinding every day, and you're just putting stuff out there. But then you become a marquee attraction. And, the baseball whisperer has become like Brock Lesnar, right? He shows up about 2 times a year. He's a big-ticket event. And last night was a big-ticket event for the baseball whisperer, all right? Yeah. Here's the situation. And by the way, talking Twins every day on this show, good or bad, highs or lows, we're giving you the most Twins talk, and sometimes we're feeding you the medicine that you need. Sometimes we're giving you the therapy that you need, Twins fans, here on Mackey and Judd. Our Twins discussions and this breakdown of an epic managerial failure by Rocco Baldelli last night, and a front office failure too, is brought to you by Dennis Kirk, where failure is not an option because they are the best in the business. Dennis Kirk has been supporting riders, Harley riders, sport bike riders, cruiser riders. You'll find what you need at DennisKirk.com. 160,000 parts and accessories. Order before 8 p.m. They ship the same day. Shipping is free for orders over $89. Truly the best in the business. DennisKirk.com. Everything you need for your ride at DennisKirk.com. So here's the situation last night, right? Game was tied, and we'll get to all the other stuff like Taylor Rogers. Just you got to stop giving up bombs here, at some point. I wasn't that offended by the rest of that Taylor Rogers inning. It was sort of death by paper cuts. There was a couple little infield things, and then there was that bloop that Andrelton Simmons made an amazing catch and turned around and just wasn't able to get enough mustard on the throw. We can talk about that. But in the 10th inning specifically, game is tied, runner on second, and I will say none of the bullpen options were amazing. It wasn't like you had Trevor Hoffman in his prime ready to go and you turned elsewhere. But you got 8 relievers on the active roster. You've already used 3 of them in that game, Robles, Rogers, and Duffy. So, and by the way, Thielbar had pitched 2 straight days, so he was pretty much out unless there was an emergency.
Yep.
Thielbar would have been the option, but
he was a good option, but
he was 2 straight days, so he's out.
Yep.
So that left 4 guys available heading into extra innings, all right? Right-handers Alex Colomé, Jorge Alcala, and Cody Stashak, who was coming off this would have been a back-to-back for Stashak. Mm-hmm. And then lefty Brandon Waddell, also on a back-to-back. The Rangers were sending lefty, righty, lefty, lefty to the plate. So on paper, on a spreadsheet, in your analytics report, and by the way, 3-batter minimum, too, so you'd say, all right, well, let's send the lefty up to face lefty, righty, lefty, lefty. Brandon Waddell, come on down, right? On paper, on a spreadsheet, that's the right decision, right? We're just looking at the color codes on the spreadsheet.
keep going, because it's actually if you had looked at the entire spreadsheet,
we'll get
not
there.
the right decision. That's the thing about this.
Yep.
So like I wouldn't say that this is spreadsheet sense. I would say that this is very much 1976 baseball sense.
Yep. And
just
by the
a
way,
matchup.
They may have lost. Any of the options may have given up a bomb in that spot, and the game may have just been over because Rogers blew the save. So I'm not saying that, again, there wasn't a Trevor Hoffman option here, but we're talking about process. Why are the Twins losing some of these games? Why? What's the core of it? What are the mistakes they are making? Okay.
Yep.
Brandon Waddell. They show a shot of him on Bally Sports North warming up in the bullpen. Sweat running down his brow. Right. He's about to come into this extra innings game. And he just got shelled the night before. And so here's the problem with Brandon Waddell in that spot, getting away from the spreadsheet. He literally got lit up the night before against the same hitters, okay? Mm-hmm. Number 2, he's not a major league pitcher. He's literally only pitched in like a handful of major league games, and it largely has not gone well for him. Number 3, he's a human being with a pulse. He's not a lefty robot on a spreadsheet that you can just beep, burp, 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 lefty versus lefty, burp, burp, automatic out. He has no experience. It's extra innings, runner on second base, and he just got shelled by this spot in the lineup. He's probably a little shook. There's a human element here at play that was not considered at all and very rarely is with Rocco Baldelli and the Twins' management of these situations. And then the one that the fourth point that you were alluding to, okay? Lefty, righty, lefty, lefty. Joey Gallo might bat left-handed. Joey Gallo has reverse splits, as they would say. Mm-hmm. He's actually better against left-handed pitching, especially this year, by the way. His OPS this year against left-handed pitching is like off the charts. And so you're sending a left-handed pitcher out, a bad one and a scared, nervous, inexperienced one at that. And You're playing right into the Rangers' hands with lefty, but 2 guys who smoke left-handed pitching back-to-back and smoked the same pitcher the night before. And so, like, well, what are they supposed to do? Like, they don't have any good options. Literally anybody else would have been the option in that. But Jorge Alcala would have been the option, and we'll get to that too. Well, what are they supposed to do? Yeah, okay, the bullpen options are not good. They needed to do more. Who could have seen the Alex Colomé thing coming? And I was not in favor of putting him in that spot either. But like, literally anyone except Waddell in that spot. He should have been a last resort emergency as the last guy next to Caleb Thielbar that you brought into that game. So
the second guy, the second. Yeah, the second. Well, but that's the thing is a computer wouldn't have done this because Garcia, who was the guy who homered the night before and was the second hitter Waddell was going to face, homered again off of him. So that does so because you can't take him out. And by the way, Nate Lowe, who hits lefty, who started the 10th, smoked the ball to Jake Cave. Like I was like, oh my God, is that gonna like hit the wall? And then it's like Jake Cave got in front of, or he got between the wall and home plate basically to catch that ball. But Garcia, who was the next guy up, had hit a home run the previous night. And yes, Brandon Waddell ideally should be pitching for the Saints, and I don't mean the AAA Saints. I mean the former independent league Saints. Like, that's where he belongs. He belongs, and I mean, God bless him for that. That's great. Dude, you want to play baseball for the rest of your life? You will be great on the Monticello Town team someday, okay? And that's awesome, too. I believe that people should play sports, but you know what? You should have the ability to play sports as long as you want. That doesn't mean I should have to watch it, and that does not mean I should have to be confronted with the fact that the major league team in town trots you out. But Phil, you bring up an interesting point because, one, this is on Rocco. Absolutely. Now, he would tell you that Alcala, against left-handed batters, they have in Alcala's career a 362 average and 5 home runs. Mm-hmm. I would say if the guy has to face 3 batters, I'll take my chances against Lowe and then have the right-hander go against the guy who homered the night before. And what you said, but that's the computer. The computer should say, Mr. Baldelli, what you need to do is you need to use the right-hander against the lefty to start, because then the right-hander will be more effective. 3 batter minimum. Delete. Move on. So Alcala though.
Delete.
But here's the thing where the computer has to play a role, and it actually didn't. In his career, Alcala facing right-handed batters, they are hitting 123 with a home run against him. Yeah. And if Gallo has reverse splits, the consideration should be, oh my God, yeah, let's not allow him to face guys that he absolutely kills.
Also, Gallo has one of the highest strikeout rates in the history of Major League Baseball. Alcala has strikeout stuff and throws in the high 90s.
Yes, and Alcala.
Period.
And just as an aside, why is Alcala still being treated with kid gloves? Like, he's still being treated like he just came up. Like, he's been around for a while now. He's got good stuff. Like, why isn't he a main guy? And you know what? If he gets hammered, he does, and you move on. But, like, why is it Falvey came from a place in Cleveland where they fairly quickly a lot of times find young arms and then, like, get them up and then use them. And because what's the next thing as a baseball fan that you hear? Here's Joe Schmo, just came up from Buffalo for Cleveland. Oh, and he throws 101. Like, what? Why is Jorge Alcala being? Oh, we can't do. Oh, Brandon Waddell, we have to use him.
Dude, fascination? Here's the other thing too. Okay, like let's. I understand what some of the platoon splits would tell you. I understand the idea of Waddell is that he's gonna be better against that first lefty, and then they probably misread the Gallo thing. I don't know. Did they not look deep enough into his reverse splits? I don't know.
But if they did, they're useless. This is their life.
But what they're doing is they're ruling out Alcala because they feel like he's been so bad against lefties, and statistically he hasn't been. I mean, lefties are batting like 360 off of Alcala.
Yes.
So, but I'll tell you, okay, if I'm only rolling the dice against one of them, 360 is bad. I still have a 2/3 chance to get that dude out, right? I mean, he's hitting 360. Well, he's getting out 64% of the time, so I'll take that. I'll take those odds for the first batter, and then I'll get Alcala into his comfort zone against guys who don't perform well against right-handed pitching. Yeah. But here's the other thing to consider, okay? Alcala, and even Colome, like Colome might be shook, and I am not advocating for putting him in this game, but Colome has closed out like 100+ Major League Baseball games. And he's been terrible this year. But like when it comes to, are you confident when you're standing up on the mound? A broken Colome is going to get up there and I think have a better chance, even last night, than Brandon Waddell. And this is not meant to like crap on Brandon Waddell, but the Twins put him in that spot, and this is like everything. Every rip on Waddell is really a rip on Rocco and the front office. So just I'm not trying to pick on Waddell. Like, he's a professional athlete, and he was out there, and it's fair game. But the last time Waddell pitched in a full season in any professional realm was 2019. Okay, he was in Pittsburgh. He's a former 5th-round pick by the Pirates, like 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. 2019 in the Pirates minor league. So the Twins plucked him off waivers or whatever, or they signed him as a minor league free agent from Pittsburgh this last offseason. He pitched in 2 games in the shortened season last year for Pittsburgh's major league team. So really, he didn't do anything last year of note. 2019, AA and AAA. AA and AAA, minor leagues. This dude had a 6.29 earned run average against minor leaguers. Yeah. The last time this dude felt confident at all on a mound was like AA in 2018. At least that's my read of it, right? Like, he's had no meaningful success on a pitching mound since 2018 in like AA. And you're freaking running this dude out in the 10th inning against the heart of a lineup with a runner on second base, expecting anything other than what happened last night?
Yeah.
It was legitimately, I don't mean to like be hyperbolic or overreact, and some of this is just frustration of a bad start to the season, but it was one of the most like easy first guess debacle, what are you asking for right now decisions. And there is zero defending it.
It's almost like, and I'm not accusing Rocco of this, but it's almost like he wants to prove to Falvey if this is what you gave me, this is what you're going to get. Like he is running guys out in almost a defiant way, like because it doesn't make sense.
And Gardy used to do that sometimes.
But it's but like why
Alex
else
Burnett, get on out there, buddy.
And Rocco's answers to questions about this move last night got my antenna up a little bit because he gave the old, this is what we've got. We expect this from him. If he's going to pitch, he knows damn well, right? Like the night before he pitched, I believe he got one out and gave up 3 runs. Yeah. So Rocco ain't dumb. I'm still going to go with he's not dumb. And his responses were, Watt is here for a reason. He's here to get guys out. We have to believe that the guys that we have here, it was all very much like, you see what's going to happen, Thad. You see what's going to happen, Derek. And I just found it really intriguing. And Rocco is how can I put this? Rocco is in Rocco's own way. I feel like, and we saw this last night a little bit, melting down. Like he's ticked. Like he's ticked about this whole thing. It's on him too. So I'm not absolving him, but there's definitely sort of a defiance might be too strong, but there's definitely an attitude that we're getting from him now that I've never seen before. And it's almost like it's a frustration, if that makes sense.
It should be, yeah.
And I will say this:
you can't meditate your way through this whole thing.
Hell no.
I'm all for right. I'm all for being stoic, but like you can't meditate your way through this whole thing.
And I will say this: if you go through his answers, he is at no point in time falling on the sword himself. Mm-mm. Like there's nothing about I'm second. About Waddell last night, he very specifically said, as I sit here right now, I still feel good about bringing in a left-hander to face a left-hander.
Beep, burp, 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 burp. I feel good about, think about that right there. Like, I know you're paraphrasing him, but in their minds, we brought a lefty in to face a lefty. No, you brought a minor league pitcher who hasn't had any success at any level for 3 years in a big boy major league spot. Yeah. That's what you did.
You brought a gasoline can to a bonfire, and you got exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah, here's
That's
another
exactly
one.
Right.
All right, in terms, again, none of these, we're not talking about Mariano Rivera's cutter here being left in the bullpen. So I just want to make it clear for the 5th time, there weren't amazing options, but this was by far the worst option, and so it deserves to be criticized. Cody Stashak would have been pitching on a back-to-back, but he would have been a better option, okay? Yep. Now, he's not amazing against left-handed hitters, but he's also, like, I think in his career, he has allowed a 300 average against left-handed hitters, but, that's, I think you roll the dice there, even on a back-to-back, because he can miss bats, right? And so if I'm ranking the options, Alcala was number 1. He was fresh. He didn't pitch the day before. He's electric. Yep. And I would take my chances on the first left-handed hitter. Cody Stashak, 19 pitches the day before, but didn't pitch the day before that. Also has more electric stuff. I'm going with the electric stuff guys that can get me a strikeout. That's what I'm going with. And I just can't first guess, just can't fathom bringing in a guy who just has no chance in that spot. So,
big picture, I've got a question here, and it goes way above Rocco Baldelli. All right, so it seems like the failure, and it's been a failure of Colome thus far. Which, by the way, they weirdly tried to keep running him out there when he was struggling still, and it actually got worse. But as much as they fib and say, we do not have a closer, Rogers can close, and everybody can close, all our guys can close, their plan very clearly was for Colome to close. And yes. I think the ideal was it would go something like Duffy, Rogers, Colome, okay? Mm-hmm. So, big picture, here's my question. Because Falvey took over, was it 2016 now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Into 17, right? Yeah, I think so.
Where are the arms? Where are the big arms? Like, you are literally running an old school Twins bullpen out there now, and I mean this
even Robles, right? I mean, who walked,
but I mean, everybody. but you're signing those guys. I'm saying, where are the developed arms? I thought the whole thing was he came from Cleveland because he was at least partially credited with their secret sauce to find pitching, and that's across the board, starters and bullpen as well. But we're now well into his tenure. There's certainly been success, so I'm not scoffing at that. But how is it that we're talking about Thielbar, Waddell, Stashek? Like we are talking about what we would have ripped Terry Ryan up and down for.
Yeah.
Where are the
true.
arms?
It's true. I think, in fairness on that front, the minor leagues just started yesterday for the first time in like 550 or 600 days or something.
Sure.
It's 600 days, I want to say.
Yep.
So they just, like, if there were arms that were on track in 2019 to contribute in 2020-21, a lot of those guys have just been stunted at this point, and they haven't thrown innings. That's the hard part. Now you have to build up innings loads again, and you're probably going to have even starting pitchers on some sort of pitch count. So, but I'm generally speaking, I'm with you, and you could apply the same logic to the lineup too in some ways. Where, where's the young nucleus? Now, Alex Kirilloff looks like he's going to be part of that. That's on pause because now it looks like he's seeing a wrist specialist today, and all indications are this is going to be something that he might have to have surgery or something, and he ain't playing anytime soon. So, of course, when it rains, it pours here. Your most electric, fun young player next to Byron Buxton is going to miss, who knows, maybe he misses the rest of the season. But on the pitching side, the starting staff, it's Jose Barrios, who's young nucleus homegrown, and then it's a bunch of dudes over the age of 32 in your rotation.
Yep.
And then your bullpen, Robles is 30, Colome's 32. Rogers and Duffy are both 30 now, too. They've been around for a while. And really, like, in terms of young gun, futuristic arms, Alcala 25 fits that bill. Stashak, at 27.
Not really.
I don't know. It's pretty much Alcala. Alcala and Barrios are like your two nucleus young arms on a 13-man pitching staff right now.
But the problem with that is Alcala's not treated like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's still treated like, oh my God, if he fails, he's ruined, and so let's protect him. Huh?
Yeah. So, oh man, I don't know. It's super frustrating to watch. One other thing on this too, and we'll get to write that down. Predictions, accountability session. The accountability session for both versions of Write That Down, this and Purple, are marathons, just so you guys know.
Oh, okay.
So many things came off the board.
I figured it. Yeah, I figured
Cool.
the draft was going to.
Yeah. But I think, and it's not everybody, it can certainly be the broadcast crew on the TV side. When it comes to the 0-6 record in extra innings, and when it comes to 18 straight playoff losses, there's this thought among a lot of people in and around the team of, oh my God, can you believe the bad luck? I mean, what bad luck to be 0-6 in extra innings and to lose 18 straight playoff games. I mean, what are the chances? Like, what? Well, some of it's bad luck, sure. But there's a lot of things self-inflicted that keep happening, right? When you put Brandon Waddell into that spot, that ain't bad luck. Oh, my God, what bad luck? He gave up a home run. What are the chances giving up a home run to the same guy 2 nights in a row? What bad luck? That's not bad luck.
No.
That's bad everything.
Yeah. That's like when I get upset for being hungover when I was the one who did it to myself the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I keep waking up
Self-inducted.
hungover.
Yeah.
I'm
What the
the
heck? What's wrong
unluckiest
with
guy
me?
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, how does that happen?
Brian Dunsing and Cody Stashak pitching to the middle of the Yankees order 10 years ago and today. Like, what bad luck? Can't believe those guys aren't getting Alex Rodriguez and Aaron Judge out.
God.
When is our luck going to turn?
The sad thing is that this is all shaping up to waste Byron Buxton's year, which continues to be incredible.
Dude,
like he made 2 catches last night.
ridiculous.
He hit a bomb. It is so much fun to watch that guy now. His outs are now fun because he's so confident and still so fast. It's going to be a real shame if these guys continue to flounder and fail, and for Byron Buxton, hopefully to stay on the field and put up the type of year that he is having if they're not good. That's going to be a shame.
Mike Trout hit a bomb last night again, too. So it's like Buxton versus Trout 1 month into the season, just haymakers for the American League MVP. It's been great. All right. Well, any other final therapeutic thoughts or notions here? This has been, I feel, much more calm now than I was like 20 minutes ago. So.
A small crowd which remained in the 10th at Target Field last night did a very good job of booing Rocco. I was impressed. They let him have it.
So the boos were when he stepped out of when he came out, finally pull Waddell out of that game.
They were the fan base was unhappy with the fact that Waddell was serving up batting practice, but they're smart enough to know it's not the kid's fault. It's a scout that signed the kid.
Yeah.
And so when Rocco came out, he definitely got booed. And you know what? In this case, I'm with fans. I get your frustration. I get it. So somebody from a role from Rocco on up deserved to be booed last night.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I agree.
Just quickly too, I think they also, and this might not be possible, I think if they're serious about getting this thing back on track, not entirely, but I think you have to take a long, hard look about opportunities to potentially remake your bullpen on the fly.
Which isn't easy because everyone's looking for bullpen help. You always have to overpay. That's what sucks about if your bullpen's bad in the middle of a season, you wind up trading like a good position player prospect just to get like an eighth inning guy. You know,
I'm not saying it's great, but the options that they have in that secondary list of guys, Phil, that you went through is not acceptable.
Well, the best thing that can happen is for Colomé to just snap out of it and pitch the way that he has for 7 years. I mean, that's been, relievers can be volatile, and it's actually pretty amazing that he's been, not many guys can be really good for 7 years in that spot. And so this has been one of the worst months of his career, and he needs to snap out of it. It's some of it is probably just him short-circuiting. Maybe some of it's him just the league catching up to him after 7 years. I don't know, but if he snaps out of it, all of a sudden the bullpen feels a lot more in line. And now Rogers goes back to being 7th, 8th inning guy. Now, I'll tell you, Duffy is walking everybody, and he's not the same guy he was the last 2 or 3 years. So, I don't know. It's going to be the only way that you're going to be able to get a legit bullpen changing arm is to overpay with a prospect. And that's something they might just have to confront. But if they stay a handful of games below 500, it's not worth it.
Right, then you don't do it.
Yeah. But how do they dig out from a handful of games below 500 unless they get a better bullpen?
Make some changes.
Yeah.
Send some guys down at the very least.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I'm sure the Twins will come up at least a time or two in Write That Down and our accountability session. So
write it down. You like writing things down.
Let's get to it.